I'm gonna start some ivory black, paint thinner, a little bit of the blue, maybe just a touch of this cerulean, just a little bit, because I just want to squint my eyes and I just want to block out big shapes, big simple shapes. I always like starting with the dark, so moving further back to these trees. When they go further back, what do we want to do? Slightly light them, slightly cool them a little bit. A little bit of that cerulean. You know, maybe a touch of yellow ochre. I don't know why. I think I'm seeing, I don't know, just kind of pushing it a little bit towards green. That might sound weird. Like I don't see green, but that's what I'm thinking in my head. Like I'm always looking for relationships. Like I'm, you know, this is very similar in value to this. It's a little bit lighter, yes, but it's very similar. So, you know, a lot of painters, you'll see them in landscapes, they'll work from the farthest element in the scene and then work their way forward. Like a lot of people go sky, then the mountain, then this, then this, then this, then this, and kind of work forward because it helps you, like the paint itself is in the position of the landscape. Like, you know, this paint is behind this paint. So if any of this kind of comes down, it gets overlapped by this. Same thing, this will overlap that mountain, this will overlap that. So it just kind of helps you stay on track. As I move forward and put in this tree that's lit up, I'm going to use like a much warmer, darkest dark. Like see the kind of darkest darks that are in there. I'm just going to start with that, which is going to be some little burnt sienna, a little ultramarine blue. It's going to pretty much look like a black, but letting a little bit of that burnt sienna kind of seep through because it's easier to build. It's easier to go dark to light. And you can see again, kind of with that, what I was just saying with stacking the levels in terms of the physicality of the paint. The same, it's kind of same with dark to light. Like the darkest areas are the areas that are deepest in this tree. So I'm putting these in. I'm putting in the deep areas. I'm going to work my way out. A lot of times it might be best to find an average dark. Like I'll show you, because chances are you're going to have to paint these out and then paint them back in a little bit more. I'll show you what I mean. If I get some yellow, cadmium yellow, was I struggling saying that, and kind of make this more of like just a dark green of the trees. You see how I'm having to like kind of paint out a lot of that dark? That's why I feel like a lot of times I will do this green first and then kind of go back in and push back in some darks, like darkest darks, dark accents. So here I'm just establishing warm darks before I get into anything else. Like I said, kind of having to come back now, maybe push in some darkest darks. All right, I want to take a quick break from the lesson to let you know that if you struggle with mixing color, you're not alone. That's why I made my free color coaching guide. It's a series of quick and easy to understand videos that simplifies color mixing so you can learn it and implement it in your next painting. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link to it in the description of this video. Kind of a warm, really dark warm. I push a little bit of that crimson in there. Not crimson, cad red. Again, this is just a base to build lighter lights within. A little more burnt sienna. Once I get it in, then I can like pull it into that blue. You see like it's that cool green that you see there, and also softens the edge to help it read more like light. I have something in every area, and now it's just going to make it so much easier to add lights, add darks, even manipulate shapes. It's just going to make things a lot easier. I want to put this tree in because I just want to get that bright, like I want to key this in to help me figure out everything else. But before I do that, I just want to make sure everything that's kind of touching it is where I want it to be. So I'm just going to kind of check and touch up and alter anything that I need, like if I need to change this mountain at all. I'm trying to just find a slightly lighter value than what I have. So I really want to work dark to light with this tree. And I do not want to go too light too fast, because the only way these bright lights are going to pop are if they're sitting on top very dark darks. So what I'm doing here is I'm kind of trying to think about the tree logically, like any pine needles that are getting hit with the lights from the lights that are on it are going to be slightly lighter, just a little bit. So I just want to kind of get those in. Cad yellow, cad red. I'm not going to go with the brightest lights. There's some lights in here. They're kind of orangey. Don't feel like you have to get every colored light and everything that you see. See how it looks like lit up already? We haven't even put in the brightest lights. This brightest color again. Also, when we push this lighter, it's gonna be pretty cool. You'll see how much it makes this like seem like it's glowing. Still like kind of like a creamy orange. Soft, letting that blend in. The paint that's already there. Kind of letting it blend into this paint that's there a little bit. I feel like a big lesson that keeps getting repeated in this tutorial is like knowing what to put down first, like knowing to put this down before putting the light of the snow. So when it comes to the snow, like, yes, these things, they're lighter, but it's not like crazy lighter. You know, it's very subtle. And when I come up with this color for the snow on these trees, I'm trying really hard to dial it in as subtly and accurately as I can. Like, is that too bright? I don't know. I'm going to be taking advantage of working wet into wet paint and kind of letting it mix in there. That's going to help me dial it in closer. Like with this tree here, I could go, and like put a harsh stroke, which isn't that bad. But like the more I work it in, the more it kind of blends together and becomes a little more natural. I'm also thinking about like this snow, it's sitting on top of the pine needle. So it's like I'm thinking about that direction with my strokes, and I'm thinking about laying that snow on top of masses of pines. I'm not just going in there going like just kind of some arbitrary direction. I'm thinking about what I'm painting. I always say, like, imagine like if water were to fall, which way would it fall? And kind of that helps with your brush work. Like if it hit this kind of mass of pine needles, this branch go and spill off. These trees that are up close like this one and this one, you can get a little more specific, maybe a little smaller with some of these. So I'm kind of just seeing what aspects I can push. Like, can I push a little bit lighter in here? Maybe find one more lighter value in the snow. It's always fun to do paintings that have like something that's like lit up or glowing. It's like you're working on it, then you step back, kind of take it in, and then it's like, wow, it really is glowing. Hope you enjoyed. Have fun painting.